going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your Pal Kal, and I have been testing this SBC for about a month and a half. I want to say almost 2 months now. Specifically, we're talking about the Arduino Uno Q. Now, when the Arduino Uno Q was first announced after Qualcomm bought Arduino, every single person was commenting on my videos like, aren't you excited? And I was like, I want to see it first. Like, I can honestly say that I wasn't one of those people that was excited because I'm not saying I'm anti-Qualcomm. I'm just saying it was a little weird, at least for me. I was at least hoping, like in the realm of SBC, like I'm telling you as somebody who's just like, like I was expecting maybe something that could compete with a Raspberry Pi, especially on the fact that Raspberry Pis are now incredibly expensive, just, 70 to 80% more expensive than they were before. But, I digress. This, if you were looking for an SBC and you grab this guy, I mean, yes, it does run Linux. Yes, it is kind of fancy. You could do some cool things on this device. As far as robotics goes, which is not really in my line of work, but I mean, yeah, you could. It does have a spot with robotics. I would see this as a good opportunity for students to, understand the platform in a way that is nowhere near how I understood the platform in the beginning, but that's just me. There's a lot of things that we need to go over. In the first 2 weeks, I kept asking myself the same question. Who is this for? And I still don't have an answer for that. You guys have probably seen other videos by like Bringus Studios who was able to play Half-Life on this little sucker. Now, granted, it gave me anxiety. Watching that video drove me crazy. Like, there's no way in hell I'm going through all of that trouble to get it booted just to play a video game off of another NVMe. Like, that's crazy. But we're gonna kind of do that, by booting this up with an adapter, of course, because there is no I/O except for that USB-C port. Now, we do have headers, your classic Arduino Uno style, the whole nine. You get what I'm saying. And all in all, I am gonna tell you, this device is weird. I mean, this SBC as an SBC is weird. Like, if I want an Arduino, I'll grab an Arduino. Now, granted, I have not used an Arduino in a while now, and I have kind of I'm one of them people that tell people like Arduino's dead. Now, I still use the Arduino IDE. I learned on the Arduino IDE. I value the Arduino IDE. I can't say the same about, PIO, but that's just me. I like the Arduino platform. As far as the Arduino devices, I keep getting things that are Arduino-like, but are not Arduinos. For example, one of the most powerful microcontrollers on the market today is the Teensy 4.1. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Teensy is a cool little, really long microcontroller that is just incredible. Like, you can overclock it to 900 and up megahertz, and it's insane. Like, it is a fantastic microcontroller. Now, if you're watching this and you watch my videos on specifically stuff within the ethical hacking device, software, kind of the stuff that we go over usually, then you might be asking yourself, how come we don't have any Teensy devices within our community? Well, that's mostly because there isn't any Wi-Fi features, and with ESP32 Marauder and Space Hans the Author and things of that sort, it's based around the ESP. The ESP has both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and even a microcontroller as menial as an ESP 8266 or 8266 it has purpose. You can definitely run the Author from it. There's some cool stuff going on. I've even had people tell me about the ESP E22 and how it's kind of meant for the ESP32B4, which it is, but it's dual core, tri-band, clock speeds of, I want to say 600 megahertz. I believe 600 megahertz. But you get what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to say, oh no, that's just a Wi-Fi chip. That is going to be more than just a Wi-Fi. Like, you just dual core too? Come on, man. Who are you? Do you know who we are? Do you know what we do? You must be new here. Anyway, back to the Arduino Uno Q. The Arduino Uno Q is arguably one of the strangest Arduinos I've ever played with, and then I can wholeheartedly say that me, personally, I'll probably never have a use for it. I would have never even bought the thing. Thank God it got sent in. This is one of those devices where it's like, as much as I would have loved to play with it, I wanted to play with it as not a buyer, pretty much. And I know you might be asking, well, like, what, man, why? Well, that's mostly because it just seemed from the beginning like it was an example of something that is good and would get changed for the worse. Now, I am not gonna just write off Qualcomm all the way. You've got Qualcomm processors coming in Surface Books and Surface Pads and laptops and really awesome phones, and I mean, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Them things do the job pretty well. But in this case, it was just a kind of like why, and I'm gonna keep asking why because I don't know who it's for, man. And I'm not saying I'm the brightest guy. I'm just speaking. Think of this as a blog of sorts. Like, I don't know why this thing exists other than for students. It's a perfect SBC for students. Like, literally, as far as education goes, it is pretty good. Now, is it made for makers? Maybe. I haven't seen a single maker do anything with this. Now, that's not writing it off completely. There's a lot of potential. You can do everything straight from the device. But even if you did, you gotta add adapters and things of that sort, all of that. But anyway, let's get started. So this is the Arduino Uno Q. If you let Arduino tell it, this is for computer vision, gaming, SBC, kind of shenanigans and things of that sort. Now, gaming, to me, is a stretch, and it comes in 4 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes of memory, which is in these days very reasonable. It also comes with some embedded memory. You have a choice between 16 and 32 gigabytes, which is I mean, think about it. As far as a small SBC with the eMMC, that's actually pretty good. If we look over here, we've got an RGB matrix. Of course, our Qualcomm Dragon Wing right over there. Let's see if I can actually zoom in on that. Yeah, our Dragon Wing right there. Now we have our typical headers on each side that speak everything. I mean, you name it, it's got it. You've got a lot of different power rails. Every single thing that kind of makes an Arduino Uno, well, an Arduino. Now, the Dragon Wing is a quad-core ARM Cortex-A53 processor with clock speeds of 2 gigahertz. But it's also got an STM32 microcontroller, you know, for your typical microcontroller shenanigans. Now, that is, I mean, it is actually pretty cool, but it's still a matter of, well, I mean, it doesn't know what it wants to be. If it wants to be an SBC or if it wants to be a microcontroller. And even at that, well, there is built-in Wi-Fi, and that's kind of what I really like about this device. The Arduino Uno Q has dual-band Wi-Fi. So, of course, me giving in to the intrusive thoughts in my head, I stuck an ATGM336H on this sucker, and I turned it into a mini war driver. Although, there are some things that, you know, are counter. As exciting as that kind of is, it was not the best war driver, but it could be turned into a mini war driver that runs Linux. We've seen this movie before. I want you to keep in mind that just because you can turn it into a mini war driver doesn't mean it should be a war driver. There are a lot better options, and I, well, full transparency, vibe coded the entire thing and used other projects for reference. With that being said, I think there's, you know, user error why it performed in last place. I want to make that perfectly clear. Just Call Me Coco C5 war driver operates way better. The Biscuit Shop Biscuit Node Biscuit Cluster right now is in first place. There are a lot better war drivers, and that's kind of a trend here with the Uno Q. There are a lot better options for the things that you want to do, but if this is your only option, well, you can definitely make do. They do got these tiny row of headers on the bottom, and that's mostly used for like embedded projects, robotics. I personally will never need them. You can also attach a camera for, you know, AI vision projects, and they really stress that that's what it's for. We've got headers over here, a button, a power delivery USB-C port, as well as it operating for your data, and a quick connector for you to attach different modules to, which is actually some thorough thinking if you really think about it. Quick connectors come in handy and make life so much easier. Now this RGB matrix right here lights up as soon as we give it power. To get kind of a standalone mode, we do need a USB-C multi-hub thing, which works out in this, you know, what we need it for right now, because we're going to be booting it in standalone mode. Turn it on, it does the little loading bar, which I think is very, very cute. And yeah, let's show you what it looks like on the screen. Also, yeah, your adapter is also going to need a full-sized HDMI port so we can attach a display to it, because, you know, that just only makes sense. What's really cute about this thing is that when you cut it on and the display comes up, it looks like, you know, a regular Linux SPC. It looks incredibly professional. Also, you can code everything that you need to, browse the web, do the whole nine, straight from the device in standalone mode. I do like the PC mode, but this just, you know, although this is a tad excessive, it is kind of fun. Now I've reset this Uno Q just so I can show you guys the startup menu of the Arduino App Lab. This is the star of the show. Everything can be done directly from the App Lab, and they have small tutorials where anybody who has no idea where to start can understand the basics, from blinking an LED to classifying images, or, you know, you can attach a camera, you have a weather forecast on the LED matrix. There is so many options that can teach you fundamentals when it comes to small maker projects, specifically with Arduinos. The best part is we can run everything directly from the App Lab, and it will happen in real time. In this case, blinking an LED will quite literally blink an LED after it's done running. A really nice feature about the Uno Q is you got the same LEDs that you do on other Arduinos that kind of let you know what's going on. In this case, the red LED for the STM is lighting up because we are utilizing the microcontroller built in. Now, there are so many different modules that you can attach with just a quick connector. For example, here I have the sensor stick by Pimoroni, and it has a light meter, it has a BME 280 for temperature, humidity, has all the weather station things that you could possibly need for a mini weather station. So you could technically use this and the libraries available to turn your Uno Q into a mini weather station and have the RGB matrix display what's going on in real time. You even have a terminal, and it runs sudo, so it is running Debian, which is awesome, and it's running Trixie, which is even better. It can play video, and it does it like okay. I don't want to say it's the best, but it does, you know, you can, which is pretty good. And you can run like Minecraft or RuneScape. So the main thing that I do want to point out that I really like is the Arduino App Lab. It is pretty cool. And being able to use the Arduino Uno Q in standalone mode, although annoying, does work. And you know, it does operate as a nice little SPC. I would recommend 4 gigabytes if you were gonna get one. 4 gigabytes at the very least runs on the RAM that it has, and 2 gigabytes will run. You're limited as it is. You're doing what you're working with what you're working with here. So with that being said, I still don't see anybody within our, you know, community in particular going, you know what my project needs? An Arduino Uno Q. And I would love to see more of that. You know, my first thought was, it's got dual band Wi-Fi. I know exactly what I'm doing with this. And I was a little bit disappointed. The desktop environment is not that bad. Games, although, yes, you can play games. I would not recommend it. Why they advertise that is insanity to me. You know, if you were to stick to 8-bit games, you can play games on anything, man. You find all types of devices that run games. But just the fact that they made sure to throw that in there, to me, is just, it's a little bit misleading. Might give people the wrong impression. If you wanted to run web-based games, even then it's kind of annoying. But aside from games, the AI vision is not really my thing, man. I don't know, I've seen some videos. It is capable, but I would still go with a Raspberry Pi Zero. That's just me personally. There's a lot better software support. There's a larger community, things of that sort. I hope that Arduino, with their next, they've already announced the new, I guess, Qualcomm Arduino that I barely paid attention to it because at this point, I'm not excited for it. I just want to see what comes out, and I cross my fingers that it's better than this. If you're into robotics projects, then yeah, that's also good. Thank you so much for the love and support and watching me rant about this device that made me want to rip my hair out. It's fun. If you want to get into like educational devices, I would argue that there are better options. But on the fact that the Arduino Uno Q, you know, won't really set you back but like $35, that's not that bad. Keep in mind that projects like this are what really expand your scope of knowledge, not devices. And don't get me wrong, we go over really cool devices all the time, but to you watching this, because you're used to what we see on the channel, we go over different types of stuff every single day. And this is counter maker propaganda, if you will, where it's like, I want to let you know that this thing exists, but it's annoying and a little weird, which is okay, depending on which way you want to do it. Either way, I hope that if you do snag one of these, you make something great. You make something worthwhile. You share it with the world so that more people are inspired by what they see. I will be working with a couple of members of the community to try to clean up the war driver on this, just because I think it would be funny. I don't see too many public projects behind the Uno Q, so I'm going to be sending this around just so other people get a hand in it. And, you know, keep a lookout. I'll let you know when it's completed. There's also a Raspberry Pi Zero war driver. I have this stupid obsession with wanting to turn every wireless device into a war driver, but I'm more so focused on the Wi-Fi Hydra and the soon-to-be Wi-Fi Pomegranate, which after prototyping with the 6 C5s, I think is going to be one of the best out there. Just Call Me Coco also has a cluster war driver, and that is insanity. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend that you go take a look at it, because it's pretty cool. Thank you so much for the love and support. You guys are amazing. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe, because we go over all different types of stuff all the time, my guy. We'll see you next time.